Hi, this is Mike Hendrickson from the Security Conference in New York City. I'm here with Ido from PerimeterX. Ido, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
And the conference has been good for you so far?
The conference has been great, thanks.
So PerimeterX sounds very interesting. Can you tell us a little bit about what you guys do?
Sure. So our service helps protect websites. We call it behavioral-based web protection. Our customers are large websites, and we help them answer a very simple question. Is the user coming to the site, is it a human or a bot?
So that's the behavior part, behavior-based.
Right.
Right.
In order to detect the thing that happens is happened in the last 20 years of the evolution of the web itself, is that the attackers and the bots also evolved from very simple bots that were fairly easy to detect. There were automatic scripts that would run and do repetitious things into very smart and evolved bots that are basically running a full browser, sometimes even malware running on a machine and using the user's credentials and tagging along in the user session, where you want to differentiate between what is coming and that is a human versus the actual malware or malicious bots that are going there and doing their malicious parts.
So how do you determine the difference between a human and a malicious intelligent bot?
That's a great question. So I mean, this is not an easy task, and what we're doing for that is we're collecting hundreds of indications from the device itself. So the way we implement our solution, which is very different from traditional network security solutions, is that we don't only look at the traffic and on the network, we're actually sending a payload with every website, web page, with every with the application itself that runs on the user's device. And by running on the device, we can collect much more information that is very indicative to the user. With all these informations, we can analyze the behavior of the user and identify anomalies using machine learning and other techniques. What encounters as the behavior or anything that may change? It could be, for instance, how you move your mouse. Did you get, for instance, from the login all the way through the checkout in a site without a single mouse movement or typing? Did you do all that in 1 second? For instance, as a mobile device, the sensor did not detect any motion, or is the battery not there where you would expect from a mobile device to have these kind of movement or motion? There isn't such a thing as a completely static or stable mobile device. So having access to all this additional information helps us assess the behavior of the user, the behavior of the application, and assess, is it a legitimate user, is it a human, or some automatic script or device or code running as a malware on the device that is trying to pretend to be a human.
So if you're installing something on my device to detect this, am I getting a performance hit while I'm browsing the web or doing things?
That's a great question. So the installation is actually, we don't require the user to do anything. Basically, it's something that comes within the website or within the application of the customer. So you don't need to install any additional software or device to identify yourself. The other thing is we're very, very conscious of performance. I think what makes our product very unique is our common background of the founders, coming from both a deep understanding and background of security, but also a deep understanding of web scale and web infrastructure, and understanding the critical of performance, the critical of being part of the application as opposed to a security layer that you slap on top of an existing application. So we're very conscious on that. We're collecting the information in the background, very cautious of not impacting the delivery of the page, not impacting the scale of the application. We don't want to be the link that will block the successful application from reaching flash events or slowing down suddenly in holiday seasons when the traffic exceeds 10x or 20x than the usual.
So since you're using machine learning and AI in your solution, are you learning what the bots are doing to change the game and to keep getting better?
Yeah.
And are you guys staying equal with them or ahead of them, or?
So that's the hardest thing, obviously. So we're ahead of them. One of the advantages that we have is we're coming with a new approach that wasn't really tried before or is fairly new. So it takes time for the bots and for the attackers to try and accommodate. So for now, we have the lead and we have the head start. The other thing that is helpful with behavioral detection is that it's not signature based. So I can actually detect attacks that I don't know of. because I see that there is something that is different, that instead of figuring out, oh, I know that bot and I've seen it before, what we're doing is we're detecting humans. We're not detecting bots. And if you're not a human, then by definition, you're doing something bad, which makes it much harder for a bot to actually behave properly and to do something that is and not be caught.
So if you look at PerimeterX and all the other companies in this space, what would you like to say your biggest accomplishment could become in the next 6 to 8 months in this market? What would you like to see you guys tackle?
There are so many challenges within bots, and again, talking about bots is something that we care about, but our customers, they don't care about bots specifically. They care about the specific attacks that are executed. So the bot is basically the machinery or the mechanism behind the scenes.
Tool, yeah.
They care about specific attacks of account abuse or account takeovers, or click frauds and marketing fraud, or attacks like scraping, attacks like scalping where they buy limited stock, or denial of service. So they care about specific things. And what we hope to accomplish in the coming few months, and we're already doing it with our existing customers, is eliminate or dramatically reduce the amount of account abuse, account takeover, having accounts being hacked and stolen. And we've seen attacks where when we're still in monitoring mode, or when we actively blocked, attacks where sometimes, again, look at the last attacks in the last few weeks. Most people talked about the Internet of Things attacks as attacks that are actually doing denial of service. What we've seen is also the same kind of devices doing a much smarter attack where they're basically using huge dictionaries of passwords and from all over the world guessing passwords with a success rate sometimes of up to 8%.
80%?
8%. But
Okay.
when they're sending millions of requests on a specific site,
That
that can add up to a lot of accounts being breached. And doing from multiple locations very slowly from each one because they actually don't want to take down the application. This is something that in many cases flows below the radar without you knowing. For us, it was very easy to detect because we identify this as non-human. The entire interaction, the way they hit the site, the way they behaved was very easy for us to detect. So eliminating these type of challenges, obviously taking the challenge to another level, the attackers will remain smart and will move forward.
So Ido, what sort of industries are using PerimeterX the most right now?
So the industries we're seeing the most need for are commerce, travel and hospitality, media, SaaS and enterprise application, definitely financial institution, healthcare, basically anyone with a website that is a target for an attack, anyone that can can have a real damage. And again, attackers are looking for their money. They're not attacking just for no cause. And wherever they can gain money, wherever they can either by stealing or by getting money through marketing fraud or getting money through ransom or whatever damage they can do, this is where they'll target their efforts, and this is where we see the need for that.
Excellent. So Ido, if you and I sit down in New York next year at this time and have the same conversation, what will change for PerimeterX and what should change in the industry?
I think what should change in the industry is having more awareness. We are already seeing this year much more awareness to bots and the impact of automations and the risk for this kind of attacks on the web versus last year, for instance. We'll see much more. What we expect is seeing more advanced attacks, seeing more advanced, and what I hope is understanding that this is a next step of evolution on how to protect applications. Today, people have a lot of awareness to web application firewall. PCI standards are demanding you to have a web application firewall. It's great. We're not trying to replace that. You still need to protect your perimeter. You still need to protect your infrastructure. But the way web scale is working today, highly distributed, platform as a service, the way the attacks are going on a higher level of the application where you need to have presence on the device to get that insight. This is what we see as the new frontier, and this is where we're trying to be the champions and own that part. We believe it presents an opportunity for a bigger platform overall for web security, and web security done right that can be done at web scale as opposed to network security. This is also why we're called PerimeterX, because we're bringing an approach which is very different from the reverse proxy or the perimeter traditional approach of, hi, I have a data center and it has a perimeter and I'll protect it. We believe that the perimeter is everywhere, or basically there is no perimeter,
Yeah.
and you need to be everywhere to protect it.
Excellent. Ido, we look forward to that conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.